Sorry, just had to check that I was filming. Hello there, Vic. You said that you liked my context presentation last year in video form, so here we are, a video form presentation. The things I do for college. And hello to all you YouTubers that are undoubtedly watching this too. And if I look ill, it's, well, because I am. Now, I've only got 5 minutes, so let's just crack on, shall we? My small ensemble piece for the Sound of Musicals is I Wish I Made from Witches of Eastwick, which I shall be performing alongside the obviously gorgeous Becky Wakefield and the wonderfully ginger Tamsin Cormigan. Once we had decided our parts, we cracked straight on with the harmonies that lesson and made quite a lot of progress. We found out instantly that our voices worked well in the piece as the tone of our voices blend to perfection. To start my presentation, I looked up the synopsis for the Witches of Eastwick online so that I could start to understand what my character Alex was like. From a first glance, I learnt that she was a sculptress who made naked clay models and that she was divorced with a son. I also watched the film to see how Alex was physically as a person, how she talked, how she walked, how she presents herself. I found out that she was the stubborn one of the group and that she was the one who wasn't afraid to stand up to Dal Ranhorn, the villain of the story, and be able to confront him. However, I did find some noticeable differences between the musical and the film. In the film, Alex was widowed, not divorced, and didn't have a son. Also, just before Felicia dies, she doesn't kill Clyde, but she does in the musical. For secondary research, I watched the first episode of Charmed, which is about 3 sisters who don't know they are witches until they discover their powers. I found myself comparing Alex to the character Prue, who was the stubborn and uptight personality of the 3 sisters, who liked to think that she had control over Phoebe and Piper. And although Alex doesn't think she has control over Jane and Suki, she does tend to be the leader of the trio. We did some hot seating in class to help us develop our characters, and that helped me to 1. Work on my improvisational skills around my character, and 2. Get an understanding of how my character would react to others. I had to find the balance between the heightened style of the musical and the naturalistic style of the reflective song. One thing that did help the entire process was my previously existing relationship with both Becky and Tamsin. The 3 witches are close friends, and so, being close friends with Becky and Tamsin, I can understand the relationship that the 3 women share with each other. Once we had made our harmonies tight, we started working on blocking the piece. We started off by sitting down on chairs at tables whilst doing whatever our character did for a job. For example, Tamsin, playing Jane, would be playing classical music on her cello. Becky, playing Suki, would be doing paperwork, and I would be making clay models. However, after peer feedback, they thought that the tables would be restricting in both view and movement, so we took away the tables of both Jane and Suki, but left me with 1 small table for my model making, as mine is necessary. Towards the end of our blocking, we decided to come together to create a physical link to show that all 3 characters were on the same wavelength and thinking about the same thing. But once again, we got more feedback telling us that it didn't quite work. Then we tried with simple eye contact, but that didn't work either. We spent time trying to think of ways to connect without physically connecting. Then we got it. We would use repeated movements in both canon and unison to create a link between them, but still have each character in their own respective place, unconnected physically. It was easy enough to plan out what would be perfect and how we could have this and have that and do this with the lights and have this sound effect, blah blah blah. But we don't have an endless budget. In fact, we have no budget. So that meant we have no cello and no clay. We got around Tamsin's cello by altering it to a violin and a violin case, as this would still reflect her classical musicality. And instead of me creating clay models live on stage, I shall have a previously existing naked couple statue that I should be making finishing touches to. We also realised that it would be a bit difficult to have Becky's papers spread out without a table, as we originally planned, so we'd have to change her papers into a folder to reflect her own paperwork-based job. And that's it, I'm now done talking at you. I've been trying to think of something creative and related to finish on, but, well, I can't think of anything, so here's some pictures of some cute cats.